Yeah. All right. I don't know. I don't know how to close Windows. Close area. There we go. Somehow we can put in quaternions to rotate the thing. Hello. Somehow we can put in quaternions to rotate the thing. Object properties, I think. Transform, yeah. Can't see it very well. But, yeah, there's, what am I gonna do? Let's change this up a bit, huh? Alright, and so, yeah, over here, mode, and we can go to quaternion, okay. Actually, I'd like this to be RGB or whatever. It's kind of annoying to make the cube so it's colored. I'll try to do that, but I think it's really annoying to do it. So we're gonna go texture paint, but what do we have to do? This doesn't work right away. You've got to create a new thing. Okay. Let's put some colors down. Whatever. We did yellow, magenta. No, I think this is not attached yet. I don't know why they make it so freaking complicated just to figure out how to like color an object in Blender. It's kind of insane, to be honest. But material, I don't know. Add something textured, maybe. Yeah, I don't really remember how to do it. Energy drinks. Drinking energy drinks. Yeah, so Dang. The base color, no. Yeah, I don't remember how to color things. It's really annoying, to be honest. Super annoying. Every time I learn, it's like, wow, that's a pain. And then I forget it because it's complicated. It's stupidly complicated. I'm sorry to complain so much, but holy crap. Texture properties, here we go. Plus, add the texture. Texture? Texture paint. Do we save this thing? Image. We gotta go save. It's gonna have me name it something. Untitled is good enough for me. Then we go in where was I? Where was I? Texture. This is Blender. Oh, we're here. Do we have a... does Untitled appear? No. Man, I really hate it. Alright, I'll Google it. Add texture to Blender. Using Opera, I don't know. Don't know how I feel about it yet. Just what I need, a freaking blog post. Gotta hate these things. They try to make them as long as possible. Ugh. Jesus Christ. Just give me the steps. Anyway. We gotta have a material, I guess. I think I got a material going. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my god, node control? What are you even talking about, bro? We're not doing a shader editor. Obnoxious crap. Man, people are not good, man. Alright, what is this? Yes. Can be as simple as going to there. Really? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that, son? Okay, I just understood something. Hold on. Let me just check something. Okay. Anyway, we're back. Different browser. I don't like that one. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Jesus Christ. Why do they bother? Like, this guy says they're new. Why do you start? Look at that. Oh, yeah, you're new. You should do this thing. What an idiot. Oh, my God. Anyway, none of this is what I want. Okay, actually, how to do... We're going to do how to texture paint. Okay, that's probably what I want. How to texture paint in Blender. Texture paint. This is the Blender docs, so it's probably a terrible... as a tutorial, it's probably absolutely horrible. It's more of a reference. Lots and lots of YouTube videos out there. Reddit. Good lord. So add a texture first. I tried to do that. Is that it? Is that it? I don't know, guys. This is a nightmare. I hate it. Okay, I'm gonna cave. I'm gonna look at a stupid YouTube video, but I don't, you know, it's probably not kosher for me to show it on the stream and all that stuff. This video is 3 minutes long, so let's see here. So we have to unwrap first, do we? Okay, I'm gonna straight up start from new here. Hold on, let me make a new one. Here's a new one. So they're saying to unwrap it first. Actually, so we can do like a smart unwrap or something. Which I think we can search for it. Okay, F3 to search for stuff. Okay, UV, unwrap. This is why Blender is not beginner friendly. That's not necessarily, that's just the way it is. I mean, yeah, unwrap, UV something. maybe I have to be in edit mode. I'm not sure. Go into edit mode. We got a UV menu up here. Unwrap. Okay, smart UV project. I think. Projection unwraps the selected faces. I'm gonna try that. But I think that this came with a UV already. You know, before this, like it has a UV unwrapping. So I think I'm gonna skip the UV unwrapping. I think it's already there. What's next? Textures, we need to add a texture. Okay. I'll go back into object mode, texture, add new. Okay. Give it a name, whatever. Is that it? Is it that easy? Okay, we just need to go, hold on. Maybe up here. View and... See, the texture that I made was called foo, and it's not over here, so... I hate it, man. This stuff sucks. Like, what a waste of time. What a complete waste of time. To me, this says, hey, this object has a texture. let's go new. Okay. I don't know. So I don't know. It's very confusing. Why there's this stuff and then there's this stuff. Oh, so this is the brush? I don't. That's a brush, and then this is the thing, maybe? We'll call this one bar. Okay. And now texture paint. Now there's bar. Okay, okay. Maybe now it's gonna work. Freaking POS, man. What the F is this application? Okay, in case I did something weird, I'm gonna start over again from the beginning. I don't think I did anything weird. But I've gotten stuck in the past, and then I just restarted and things worked out, so sometimes it makes things work. But anyway, we're back. Try to add a texture. So we add new, but then you go down to image and there's more new. Like, the people, like, I love that Blender's free, awesome. The people who make it, mainly one guy I think, has no clue about user experience. No idea. Totally clueless. Alright. Foo. Then we're going to texture paint. And now I can click up here and we're on Foo. Why is it black? Why is it all black? This is really annoying. Alright, let's do another thing. Let's look at... Should I look at the Blender Let's look at the Blender docs, okay? But this is 4.3. I'm on 4.0. I could just change this, I guess. 4.0. I bet it hasn't changed. Let's... I like the dark mode. 4.3. Alright. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. This is not what I wanted to do on the live stream, you know. Anyway. Get hooked up on technical crap. Activate the texture paint workspace. We're in texture paint or whatever. And mouse becomes a brush. Maybe the shading. Hold on. No, I can't even draw on here. So what? What the heck, man? I don't believe him that it's this easy. I don't believe him. These are the UVs already, so, but let's, alright, just in case, let's go and unwrap. Okay, then texture paint. That changed, that's coolness. You can't paint anything. Yeah. Okay, Blender docs. Let's check back on 4.0 just in case there's any differences, because that was 4.3. This looks all the same. Oops. In the image editor, switch the mode to paint. It's already there. We already looked at this, but I mean, we have a texture. It's called foo. Why is it all black? Maybe, hold on. Something stupid going on with this. Save. Save. I think I was already looking at this one. Maybe not. Okay, what is different? Material base color. I think they just named it that. Maybe, okay. Maybe material preview? I'm just baffled. I mean, I've done this several times, and every time I was like, wow, that is stupid that I have to do that stuff. Hold on, somebody's got a YouTube comment. For anyone whose texture painting just didn't work for no reason, with texture paint mode on, go to the tool menu on the right and our brushes on top. Delete the current brush. What? And this has 31 likes, so tweak anything. I certainly haven't tweaked anything. Go to the tool menu on the right and under brushes on the top, delete the current brush. And make a new one. Oh my god, that fixed it. Thanks, Blender. If I'm being honest about my experience with Blender, I hate it. I think it's trash. That's just my experience. And here's a perfect example. Trash. That's my honest opinion. Anyway, holy good lord, what a waste of time. Well, at least that's on this live stream, so I can always come back if I'm having the same problem. Now, that did this here, but I think, let's see, material preview. It's still not rendering, but we've made serious progress. Made progress. I think because there's no texture here. Here we go. This one should be... Alright, again, I'm gonna restart from 0. File, new. Okay. I'm gonna add the texture and the image. Food. And let's go to texture paint. Get rid of the brush, add a new one. Make sure up here I'm on foo. So we're painting here, and it's not showing up here. Blender, 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 blender. Maybe... Don't you have to do something in here as well? What just happened? Texture disappeared. Oh, because I deleted it once? I don't know. Go back here. It's still not showing up. Blender is such a freaking joke, honestly. What the heck? Base color. Maybe can change to an image. Texture. Image texture. Hold on. 1 second. Open up this foo thing? I don't know. I don't know, turn black. Maybe this just needs to be saved. There's something weird I was doing before with a different foo somewhere. What a mess, honestly. Oh wait, it's actually... Do you see that? There's something going on. I have no idea what's going on, but something's happening. Weird. Yeah, Blender, I hate Blender. I think it's garbage. But, you know, I don't know. I've tried other stuff. Blender is free. It's got that going for it. That's a big one. You know what I mean? So, it's got that going for it. It's free. I just want to paint the sides for identification as I rotate the object. I think I was doing something similar in Roblox at some point. Let me switch over. I was loading up this thing. It's got a lot of stuff going on, huh? So we're doing some rotating with quaternions, blah, blah, blah. It's good stuff, actually. I wanted to use Blender a bit, though. I mean, progress was made in the sense that I know to remake the brush to try to help things. But honestly, Blender's very, very frustrating. I just got really frustrated. Killed my vibe. I had this math stuff I wanted to work on, man. Thanks, Blender. You ruined it. Alright. And the thing is, if I play around in here, I have to change the code and then restart. The stuff I want to do in Blender can do more sort of immediately. Okay, that's progress. Hold on. Red. Maybe we got this going on. Oh, no, it won't let me paint. That's gonna be fantastic. Why is Blender such trash? Unbelievable trash. Why won't you let me paint now? This is crazy. Something weird with the brush again? I don't know. There we go. Something weird with the brush. So we have the gizmo at the top right. You can see it. X, positive X is here. Okay. So I want to color this red. And I don't really care about making it perfect. So just whatever. Good Lord. I gotta sacrifice a goat and pray on the dark moon. And then sometimes we get this to work correctly. Alright. On the opposite side, we'll put cyan. It's kind of a dark cyan, isn't it? So is the saturation... saturation is max, I think. Maybe it just needs more light? I don't know. Here it's fine, so maybe the scene needs more ambient light to be a little brighter would be nice. Can I do that? I'll Google Blender increase ambient light. No, not giving me what I want. Maybe isn't there a camera thing? This is, I'm looking at it. The camera. Indirect lighting. Maybe change this to diffuse or something. Got all this metallic stuff going on because it's principled BSDF. Is there a diffuse shader? Diffuse. And image texture. Foo. I don't know. I don't know if it improved it. Maybe a little. Anyway, let's get back on track. So we got red and cyan. It's RGB, so over here we're gonna have green. Yeah, I wish it would come up brighter in the viewport. Maybe if I change... Let's see, the solid, material preview, rendered... Looks like it made it worse, but we have... Yeah, okay, never mind. Material preview, I guess. Green, and I think the opposite of that will be magenta. The opposite of... Let me think. Yellow or magenta, right? I forget which. Top should be blue. Oh wait, we can see on the color thing here. Yeah, the opposite is magenta. Okay. You can't see the color wheel. Don't worry about it. Blue, yellow over here. Tariso-san, hello. Genki? Okay. Got colors to match. Red, green, blue. RGB. Matching the gizmo and the coordinate system in Blender. That's what I wanted. Let me save real quick. Hold on. And also, let me bring in. Do I want to bring in the other code? Let's just play around with the quaternions for a bit here. So I'm gonna go back to layout. Do we have a material preview? Yes, good. There it is. I'm kind of curious what the render looks like. There's the render. Hooray. So I want to play with the quaternions. So we can do that in where? Here, I think. Mode, and I'm gonna go to quaternion. Okay. Okay, so this rotation thing up here is the quaternion. So let me think. So we got a W, X, and Y. Or sorry, W, X, Y, Z. 北海道12日間で120センチ雪降りました。すごいな。120センチ。すごい。大丈夫？こっちは大丈夫だね。めっちゃ降ったんだけど、今まで一番降ったと思う。でも全然困ってない。むしろ美しくて嬉しい。ちょっと寒いけど、まあ。今日は何の作業？クワタニアンっていう、資源数っていうと思うけど、クワタニアンをちょっと、実験っていうか、探索っていうか、遊んでみる。ちょっと待って、クワタニアン。資源数。これね、クワタニアン。なんかグラフィックとか、知ってるかな？グラフィックとか、3次元のグラフィックでたまに使われてて、でも本当に複雑で難しい。回転行列。今日はこっちも寒くて、朝はマイナス16度。想像できない。すごいな。1843年だったか。OK。まあ、回転できる3次元で回転できるやつなんだよね。まあでもこの歴史とか物理の歴史とか物理と関係あるね。それも興味あるというかよく勉強してる。昨日、まあ英語だったけど、昨日、ちょっとこういう話したんだよね。RCHO とか、8元数とかもちょっと話した。 日本語でその話するのがちょっと俺できないかもしれないけど。これ長いね。まあ大切だからな。ピッピルルリルルリルル。これ後でちょっと見たいかもしれない。で、ブレンダーの中でここでこのObject Properties を押して、モードをクワトリンにして、これで遊べられる。で、この X だと、多分 X の、これなんていう軸として回転する軸っていうかな Axis。これじゃない。こう、軸になってるね。うん。ちょっと外ね、日が。そう。頭の悪い私には難しい。これ、頭いい人でも難しいよ。タリソーさん、頭いいでしょ。チョコボの BGM。そう。無意識にしてた。私の人生ずっと無意識に。あとさ、まあここだけじゃなくても、ちょっと待ってください。自分でもちょっと計算したいね。あとたまになんか手で計算してる。普通に。それもちょっとやろうかな。もっと深く理解したい。ちょっと考えてるのは、これ X で、なんていうかな。Coordinate Access ってなんていう？この線、X の線あるでしょ。X と Y と Z あるよね。この X だけチェンジすると、この X の線を使って軸みたいに使う。あと Y もそう。Y と Z。なんだけど、例えば、X と Y 同時にチェンジしたら、X と Y はこの線になる。X がこっち、Y がこっち。X と Y 同時にすると、この真ん中の線を軸として使う。この辺だよね。で、例えば、0.5 と 0.5。こっちを使って、このカメラまっすぐ来てる線として使ってる。どうやってそれ、わかった。じゃあこれ、大きい数字入れて、これで、ちょっと大きすぎた。10。こうなんだよね。ちょっと、なんていう、斜め、なんだっけ。斜めになってるけど。RGB だね。これは元 元の状態に近い。で、X と Y 同時に軸として使うと、こうなんだよね。このカメラとつながってる線。って感じ。うん。人柄が最高なのよ。なんでありがとう。二次関数みたいな感じね。二次元関数。それ、複素数とかの話？ 二次関数って two-dimensional function なんでしょうね。うん。青くしたら、エヴァンゲリオンの、ちょっとわかんないね、エヴァンゲリオンの話。わかんない。見たことない。曲は知ってる。で、X と Y と Z を同時に使うと、このカメラとここつながってる線 X と Y と Z だからここからここなんていうちょっと待ってX と Y と Z のコラボみたいな感じでこの線を軸として使うで回転するちょっとややこしいちょっと難しいでさそれをやってみるとじゃあこれ全部ちょっと10とか入れてでこれを軸としてこれもちょっと動いてるのが申し訳ないんですけどね完璧じゃないからこの線軸として回転してるみたいなのでクワトリアンってなんとなくなんかキューブの対称性と関連してるみたいな感じ二次関数も X 表座かな X 表座や Y 表座とかあるから OK ありがとうピュピュまあほんとこれちょっといらないかなでそうクリッター where are you クリッタースティーブ先生難しすぎてお腹空いてきましたごめんね難しい数学やっちゃうなんだっけバケット欲しいなバケット そうだね。クワトリニアンでなんか回転できるから。So there's axis angle to quaternion, etc. But what I'm interested in is that relating this to symmetries of the icosahedron. So the icosahedron has vertices 0, plus or minus 1, plus or minus phi. That's the golden ratio. Phi is 1.618 dot dot dot. Transcendental number. Golden ratio. Golden ratio. And then we take this and we do cyclic permutations of these to get the vertices of my icosahedron. We did that in a previous live stream. Hello. 思い出そうとするヒロヒムロさんヒムロでやってるゴロ Welcome back. Hello, how you doing? So that's icosahedron. So, and let me bring in the code here. Hold on. File. Okay. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So we have this code I want to bring in. And we had make cube, make dodecahedron, make icosahedron. So these are making it programmatically. Right now I want the icosahedron, so I'm going to go back to recent, this one. I'm going to go to scripting is somewhere in here. Scripting, new, I'll call this make icosahedron. And so if I press play here, there we go. We made an icosahedron. Of course, there's the cube as well. We can move that out of the way. There's the icosahedron. Yeah, Goro. Welcome back. 元気ですか？難しいを乗り越えてお腹いっぱいになる。よかったね。早い。That kind of looks cool. ちょっとかっこいいね、なんか。真ん中じゃないでも。Yeah. So I kind of showed here how quaternions, Shigensu. どこ行った俺のウィキペディア。これ。Shigensu. Hold on. まあ、日本人クワトリアンって言ってる人多いと思う。でもこうだよね、多分。We got Clifford algebras. Talked about that yesterday a bit. Let me go to the English one because I can read it faster. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so anyway, there's this obvious connection with the symmetries of the cube. Or even an octahedral. Octahedral symmetry and cube symmetry is the same thing. You can see the octahedron here. And if you go back 10-15 minutes in the stream, we talked about it. I showed it. But the question I have is, are there connections that can be made to this icosahedral, the icosahedron vertices? There have to be connections because you can put cubes inside of here, inside the icosahedron. So there's definitely important connections with cubes and icosahedra. So what can we do with the quaternions? Well, for example, you might have a quaternion. If this is W1, and then we can just pop in the values. For example, 1 phi, and see what happens. What am I doing? Yes, math. 数学。仕事戻るね。OK、ありがとう。良い週末を。良い週末を。ありがとう。また配信に時間があればお邪魔します。ありがとう。Your head is splitting. So here's icosahedron, or sorry, if this is a, so hold on, let's go back here, and the cube, I'm gonna restore the cube to its original state. Objects. There's a cube in its original state. Now you can see that the corners are coming out. So there's a slight, there's kind of a skew. The icosahedron looks like it's kind of tilted in a way. Now you could make, that's because there's another way to make the icosahedron. For example, so inside of the icosahedron, you kind of have this, you have these 3 rectangles. So hold on. This is John Baez's blog or whatever. You have these 3 rectangles. Now I could have chosen, instead of going this way, you can choose the other way. So, for example, this edge, instead of going this way, it could have gone along the x-axis this way. So you had a couple choices. So based on that, the icosahedron will look like it's skewed the other way. And maybe I should write code so I can make that other icosahedron. I don't know. This is the code for the icosahedron. How do you change it? What do you think about that? How do you change it? Well, one thing I can do is just make an extra one and then rotate it 90 degrees. That would work. That would work. That would be easiest because I have the code to rotate things right here. The camera, you can never, it's hard to make it roll. I wish I had a thing to make the camera roll, but, oh wait, we just go like that. Okay, never mind. We got it. Okay, that's cool. But I'm curious if we wanted to, instead of just rotating by 90 degrees, what if we want to put in the vertices differently? Can I zoom in here? Yeah, we just do it like this. So these are the vertices. This is phi. It's the golden ratio, 1.618. This is inverse phi. That's 1 over the golden ratio, which is also, it's the golden ratio minus 1. It's one of the interesting properties. So it's 1.618 and 0.618. Oh, I think, okay, I get it. So, these are cyclically permuted. So we had this, and then cyclic permutations. Cyclic means, well, we had 0, 1 phi, and all the plus or minuses, and then think like you're rotating. So phi comes back around, we have phi here, then 0, 1. So it's the same order if you're going in a circle. So this is, the order is 0, 1 phi, and then from here 0, 1, and then phi, and then from here 0, 1 phi. And so if we swap, if we do a single swap of one of these coordinates in the order, it will do a different kind of permutation. Then we can get the other ones. So let me just try to kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about. So if I take this icosahedron, let's rotate it on the z-axis by 90 degrees. So R Z 90, enter. And then I'll make a new icosahedron with this script. So I'll have 2. So now we have the 2 of them. Let me move the cube out of the way for a second. So these are kind of duals of each other in a sense. And it's interesting that this connection with permutations. These are cyclic permutations, and cyclic permutations, depending on how many elements you're talking about, they will be positive determinant. The determinant is 1 or negative 1. So, in other words, for these cyclic permutations of 3 elements, I forget how to describe. Okay, when people talk about determinants of permutations, I think you can figure that out by, because there's matrices, there's permutation matrices, And of course, a matrix has a determinant. But it is a little confusing. But in essence, if you have some ordering of things and you do a single swap, that has a -1 determinant. There's probably better ways to explain this somehow, but anyway. The matrix route is one way to explain it, right? And to do a cyclic permutation here, we have to do 2 swaps or transpositions. So, for example, we swap to get from these to the next one. We swap phi and 0, and then we do that, and then we swap what's here with what's here, which will be 1 and 0. So to get from here to here, we have to do 2 swaps. That makes the determinant equal to 1. So if we were talking about 4 items of 4 elements, if we had 4 instead of 3, and we were talking about cyclic permutations, those cyclic permutations would have, I believe they would have a determinant of -1. Now I think, if I'm not mistaken, that the fact that these are determinants, the cyclic permutations here are determinant 1, means that they should simply be rotations. So let me get rid of both of these and then make the new one from start. And let me think. I want to highlight just these and get rid of the other ones. What can we do? So these are labeled as 0, 1, 3. And so I look at the faces that we've got. Maybe we can remove everything with that does not have 0, 1, and 3. 0, 1, and 3. Let's remove everything that is hold on. Oh, mouse has to be over that. Okay. Let's remove everything that is not only 0, 1, and 3. So we can remove all of these. 0, 1, and 3. Is it only going to be one of them? That would make sense. So, is there one with 0, 1, and 3? 0, 1, 2, and 3, my bad. 0, 1, 2, and 3. I don't see one with only that. That's weird. 5, 3. Right. Okay, yeah. Because 0, 1, 2, and 3, this is going to form a rectangle. One of these rectangles, okay? So each of these are one of the rectangles. I guess they're golden rectangles. Right. So, yes, you can start with a golden rectangle and then you rotate it to get the other one, and then you rotate it again to get the other one. So, yeah, they're determinant 1 transformations, and so you can get them just by rotation. So we could have created the vertices just with this and then rotated. But it'd be, I guess it would, well, it would be much more complicated to implement. There's probably a way that you could conserve storage if, somehow. Maybe not here in Blender, but if you were writing stuff for a breadboard or something in assembly language, not having all of this and just having this data, you could work with to build the rest. So that's interesting. So I am actually interested in, how should I put this? Building icosahedra programmatically with sort of minimal data, minimal input. So for example, sort of building it on the Nintendo system. Problem is, I don't think you can do any, can you do any 3D rendering? No, it's not gonna work. Now the Super Nintendo has multiplication, and I think you can fairly easily do floating point values. So you could input the data into the Super Nintendo, and then can we get it to somehow look 3D? Mode 7 is not really actual, it's sort of fake 3D. It's well faked. It's an affine transformation of one plane, essentially. So that's mode 7. And anyway. So I'm not sure, hold on. I had a kind of idea when I was having a walk before I started the stream, but so we're gonna play around a bit. So suppose that this indicates vertices of an icosahedron. You need plus or minus. When you add the plus or minuses, okay, and so you end up with, so we add the plus or minuses. These are x, y, and z coordinates. You'll get one of these 3 golden rectangles. So these 3 golden rectangles, each one has 4 vertices. The icosahedron has 12 vertices. So it's just entirely composed of these 3 golden ratios, golden rectangles. And so this, when you add the plus or minuses, will give you a golden rectangle, which is like a third of the icosahedron, essentially. But I'm going to not really care about the plus or minuses right now. And so, but let's just say, suppose that this represents an icosahedron. And also, after the plus or minuses, to get the other ones, you're going to rotate cyclically. So if it were the x-axis 1, then here's x, here's y, and here's z. If this represents the x-axis 1, which it doesn't, well, actually, no, it doesn't. The x-axis 1 would have, the z parts would be 0, so it'd be 0, and then after 0 comes 1, which is here. So it'd be like this. This is the x plane golden rectangle. And to get to the y one, it rotates like this. And so what does that look like? That's a rotation. Interesting. You rotate it about the y-axis and then about the x-axis. Interesting. To get the other one. And then again here, so probably that's going to be rotate about the z-axis and then the y-axis, I would guess. Anyway, there's a simple pattern. But anyway, so I'm going to use this as representing an icosahedron. And then I'm gonna think. I want to play around with scaling because. So we're gonna scale this by the golden ratio. Okay, so all that's very simple. All that does is it makes it a bit bigger by a factor of 1.618 by phi. So when you do that, we just multiply the coordinates through. So we get 0 phi, the golden ratio. And I'm not writing the commas, I'm just too lazy. And this is phi squared. And phi squared, I will write the commas now. Phi squared is phi plus 1. That's one of the very interesting properties of the golden ratio. In fact, this is a good way to derive the golden ratio. Phi squared equals phi plus 1. You can do a little algebra and you get that phi, phi is also 1 plus square root of 5 over 2. Okay. So that's why when we scale by phi here, we get 0 phi plus 1. So let's do that in Blender. That's going to be real simple. So here we are in Blender. Don't really need the code here. And I'm going to go this scale stuff you can kind of barely see, but I'm just going to change everything to 1.618. Let me copy this first. Copy. Okay. And I'll have the second one. Yeah. Cool. We got a second one and we'll scale it. Everything is 1.618. So yeah, no change in orientation, of course, just scaling. But I'm kind of interested. If you do this transformation and you do a cyclic permutation at the same time. So we'll go from 0, this one, to, let's cyclically permute. And 0 and phi. Well, that's going to be this kind of rotation that I was talking about, right? So if I rotate, I think I said it was rotate about the y-axis and then the x-axis. So let's try that. So, and I think we'll get back the same thing, but rotate about the y-axis. So R, Y, 90, enter. Let's see, that's going to be different. Okay, that's different. And then rotate about the x-axis, R, X, 90. We just get back the same, yeah. Nothing's changed. But what I'm interested in, you have this vertex, just the vertex, and you interpolate into this vertex. It will create some kind of spiral, right? And so there's a golden spiral. It's very famous. It's and there's a whole collection of spirals that are I think they're called logarithmic spirals. They're also continued fractions. So phi is equal to this continued fraction, which is 1 over 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1 over ... forever. That's a continued fraction. And phi is said to be the most irrational number because of this. I don't really have time to explain all that. But, and this is related, so it forms a golden spiral. But that's a 2D thing. And if we do what I just said about the vertices, does it form some kind of interesting 3D spiral. Going from this vertex, sort of smoothly interpolating to this vertex. Because there's a chance in my head that this pattern forms a different golden spiral that is in 3 dimensions, which is very interesting to me. Let me Google golden spiral in 3 dimensions. Anything gonna go up? Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it doesn't make that. Yeah, it looks like there's stuff. There's a bunch of stuff, so maybe, yeah. On the construction of 3D Fibonacci spirals. Let's have a look-see-daisy. Here is a surprisingly long answer to a reasonably simple question, raised in spring 2017. While the author, I know this is small. To a simple question. Question 1 is, are there 3D versions of the classical 2D Fibonacci spiral? We're expecting to find answers quickly by conducting a few searches online. La la la. 2 millennia ago, there's On Spirals by Archimedes. By the way, I think spirals are underrated because of the continuous fraction representation here is it's a whole different way to think of numbers, including, I think, transcendental numbers, but definitely all the irrational numbers and rational numbers. And these manifest in spirals as well. And so the rational numbers will have continued fractions that end, they terminate, they don't go on forever, and the spirals that are formed also stop. But the irrational numbers are infinite spirals that go on forever. So instead of thinking in terms of rational, irrational numbers, you can think in terms of spirals and continued fractions. It's just a whole different way of thinking about numbers, and that's very interesting. Geometric way of thinking of numbers. Okay. So, underrated. We need more investigations of spirals, and more people looking at them. You also have, while I'm on the topic, inside of Mobius transformations. This is advanced. And Mobius transformations are isomorphic to SU2, isomorphic to Lorentz transformations, which are in special relativity, I think, if I remember correctly. I think that's right. And these have inside of them, what's the word? What's the word? Not orthographic. Not logarithmic. Well, they're called, in English, they're usually called rumlines, I think. But loxodromic. Loxodromic. So, actually, the Mobius transformations are sort of like... brain is turning to mush. They're sort of like linear... What's the word? Why am I blanking on... It's been a while since I've done much math, actually. Linear... Not transpositions. Linear combinations. Thank you. Linear combinations of these different transformations. So I'll say it again. I believe you can think of Mobius transformations as linear transformations of different... of a handful of different transformations. Like there's a parabolic transformation, there's scaling and rotation, and maybe another one. And then there's loxodromic transformations. So let me see if I can get a thing. An image, you know. They're nice. They're cool. It's kind of spiral. It is a sort of a spirally looking thing, isn't it? Loxodromic transformations. I kind of prefer this. This is the best drawing, because these other ones, they look fancy, but they're very confusing, right? There's a trade-off between confusing and fancy. But anyway, so that's a loxodromic thing. So it's sort of spiraling in infinitely. So it's interesting because, well, that's a whole other topic. I could talk for hours about this stuff. But if suppose this is the Earth, and you want to have a bearing of what's the word? Navigation, a route. Anyway, you want to follow a path of constant bearing. The bearing, of course, is the what the compass tells you. And if it's continuous, if you're going to continuously have the same bearing, then you have to continuously adjust your direction. And it will follow this spiral. And so the spiral actually goes in rotating forever. However, if you have some kind of constant speed, it will finish in finite time. Anyway, super interesting. I mean, Mobius transformations themselves are super interesting. Basically, there's fantastic videos about it. It's essentially rigid transformations of a Riemann sphere. So you got to know what a Riemann sphere is, and then... Sorry, we can't talk about it anymore because we got to stay on topic of it here. We can't go in the weeds too much. I'd like to talk more about that stuff in other days. So anyway, they're expecting to find quick answers. La-dee-dee, la-dee-da, yes, I agree. That makes sense. Okay, here's the rum line, or loxodrome. That's kind of just what I was talking about there. Nice. Loxodrome, maybe it goes back to Latin, I'm not sure, but in French, and in French they use this word, and also rum line comes from Portuguese, actually. So Portuguese were important in navigation, so all of this is important in navigation. And actually, I think French people, some of them in high school study navigation still, and so they learn this stuff. Whereas, in America, nobody. When I grew up, nobody studied navigation, how to navigate the world in a ship. No, not in high school. Nobody was studying that around me. Okay, anyway, cone, blah blah blah, la dee dee la dee da. Okay. Extensive searches, artistic representations, mathematical generalizations. Still, so it's sounding to me like they looked for information and they didn't find it, so they decided to investigate and write a paper. (2D and 3D fractal maps, la la la). Yes, good. Matrices, cross products. So we're going to go from Fibonacci squares to Fibonacci cubes. I've seen this before. I don't really remember what that's about. These, whatever these are, these curves. Now what they're doing here, I think this is an approximation, right? I think, I'm not sure. Oh, a whole lot of math. Oh no. Interesting. I'm just gonna have a glance of the paper. I like how we don't know how far it is, how far it goes. 3D spirals. Is it really that complicated though? Huh. I'd be interested in these things. Atomic radii are related to Fibonacci numbers through the packing of protons and neutrons. I'm just spitballing here, but I think maybe because when you stack oranges or cannonballs or whatever, you have that packing of spheres. Is that relating somehow to Pascal's triangle? Maybe. Not sure. And Pascal's triangle, I'm pretty sure it relates to Fibonacci in some way. So that's interesting. They got some interesting applications. Huh. So that was way more complicated than I was expecting. The Padovan sequence has a 3D analog. Anyway, I'll look into this stuff a bit. It would be really surprising if this thing that I just mentioned actually creates a 3D golden spiral, based on the fact that the stuff was very complicated that we just saw, and my thing here is very simple. So that would be a little happy little miracle. But anyway, I want to investigate that. That's what I was thinking on my walk before I sat down today. And this procedure can go on forever. We can obviously keep scaling up by phi. Let me think. And or you could scale by inverse phi and go in smaller and smaller, and you can do that forever. So, shrug emoji. I don't know. This was an hour and a half. Let me see. Let me just check something. I struggled with some technical problems in Blender for a bit. That was annoying. That was pathetic, actually. And some kind of progress in some direction was made. I don't know. I will investigate this further. And the stuff, particularly this Padovan sequence, I think is just this sort of these squares that they make. I think it's an approximation of the golden spiral, because don't they make these with little like parts of circles? So I never really understood interesting. Nothing comes up with when I search for Padovan. But there's the Padovan sequence. It's my first time hearing that. Padovan sequence. So I'm gonna study that. Figure out what that is. That's the next step. So thank you everyone. Goodbye. Have a good rest of the day.